Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shamba, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shamba. Welcome everyone, Monday meditation, heart chakra, get happy. Let's all breathe. Let's open up that heart chakra. That's what it's there for, right? Experience this wondrous love of creation, wondrous love of the self, love of friends and family. This beautiful love. The heart chakra is ruled by air, so it's a big, beautiful space. And the throat chakra is ruled by space, so the space-air connection makes for quite a nice transmission antenna. So let's say this wondrous heart chakra, 50,000 femtotesla field, just going out, connecting to the collective consciousness, collective unconscious, where all beings are breathing together. This wondrous simultaneity, all existing together, breathing simultaneously. Whoa. It just sort of reveals the nature of the deepness, right? So we're just gonna feel that spacious graciousness of the heart. And sometimes the feelings that are coming in from friends, family, other folks, the collective, you can feel it down in your gut, right? There's a link into the Manipura chakra. You tend to taste the transmission. And you can also, right, it's rising up from the heart up into the brain, where we tend to judge it. But before it gets to the brain, before it becomes super cognitive, you could say the inarticulate voice of the heart speaks without words. It's the unstruck sound. It can be very painful. So let's just take a minute. We're just going to drop into this spacious, unstruck sound space of the heart. Just feel that. It's like there's all kinds of feelings in there. Very vulnerable we are. This deep innocence of the inner child, so cloaked and fortified. So from that point of view, this being is running the show. To the degree that our heart is open or closed. In the Jungian understanding of the heart, it's the actor, actress, is more kind of the inauthentic part of us. And then there's the authentic heart. Just radiates the love. Just feeling that authentic self. And mixing in there is all that pretense that sometimes can show up. All our fortification, all our protection, all our reactivities. All there to protect us, and yet inadvertently shuts us down. So just feeling that sensitive heart. And just expanding the perimeter out. Big, beautiful field. And Instead of contracting into the fears, we expand past the tears into noble categories. Commitment, focus, love, forgiveness, compassion. These mighty tools of the heart. So we're going to just bask in the mightiness. The bija syllable for the heart is Yam. You might see it written as Y-A-M, but that M is pronounced as a lingual N. The bindi vibrates up into the higher chakra. Yam. It's refining the heart antenna. Just basking in the glow of the self. Basking in the glow of the deep feeling. This 12-petaled chakra. In India, there's many different configurations and different takes on what's in the chakra, how many petals, which bija syllables, which power animals. All these things vary, depending on whether you're in a tantric sect or a Vedic sect or some such sect. So to declare that any one of these symbols, diagrams is sort of the ultimate one, it's really the work of scholarship. But if we're mythopoetic about it, not overly literal, this was one of Jung's exaltations, that we not get too literal, because then we miss all the magic, right? A lot of the magic is very subtle. It's very figurative. It's very relational. It's very transcendental. It's very poetic, ironic, mystical, right? Paradoxical. So just opening up to the paradox, opening up to the mystery of the moment. Scary for some people. They feel like they'll lose control. Oh. Well, my guru used to say, you're not in control anyway. It's like, just take a look. Who's breathing you here? Who's allowing those 115,000 heartbeats a day? What's pumping that blood through 60,000 miles of arteries and capillaries and veins? Who is the deep boss here? And so Baba would say, let me borrow your car so I can teach you how to drive. And then I'll give it back to you once you've figured it out, and you'll be in control. I just saw Swami Ishwarananda give this little talk about that on the City Yoga website. You might enjoy his talk. It's about 8 minutes long. So we're just noticing, are the senses controlling you, or are you controlling the senses? Who's in charge here? The actor, the actress, the drama queen, the drama dude? It seems that that's mostly a form of manipulation, right? So we want to go beyond this pretense in the heart, beyond the fear that's driving that affliction, trusting the universe more. Not easy to do, but we do that. Beautiful trust in the universe. Clearing the fear. And ironically, right, it turns out that perhaps one of the greatest fears, believe it or not, is the fear of love. Whoa! How is this possible? But love is so profound. It's wounded so many people. People are in such pain over it that, oh, love is too scary, too much to handle. So when people get too close, the intimacy demons rise up and push them away. To protect the core, right? It's all a protective move. So Jung suggests ultimately self-love, right? Love everything. Love the fear. Love what's ugly. Love what you hate. Love hell and you'll be in heaven kind of thing, right? So just letting that beautiful explode out of their heart like it wants to. We're just breathing. Just clearing the brain, clearing the desktop, putting away the files. Relaxing brain. Oh, just dropping into the heart, fearless. No worries, mate. It's okay. Love is good. Oh, just dropping into the heart. Let yourself be vulnerable. The very word itself comes from the Latin vulna. Vulna, right, means wound. So to be vulnerable, to have your wound exposed. But it seems the people with the least open hearts are the most fortified. Can't get in there, can't penetrate that, not able to express the deepness in relationship, that shell game, man. Okay, so I want to burst through the shell, breathing into the heart, expanding, young, keeps you young. Just let all your fears, concerns, worries just kind of wash away right now. You can go freak out later if you want. Well, let's just park that stuff and be done with it. It's just pure allowance, opening, releasing, relaxing, restoring, rejuvenating. We want the blood to spiral clockwise, laminar flow. A friend of mine in England wanted me to help her father who was having blood clots, and so I was sending the spiraling blood texts, and she was concerned that that might be too much for her dad, which is perfectly good concern. But last time you wanted to get a handkerchief into a hole in the wall, if you're in the business of doing that, you need to spiral it in, right? You need to, it's vertical energy gets it in there like the principle of a screw. So that blood spiraling penetrates the capillaries, penetrates in circulatory system, penetrates throughout. So just feel that happy spiraling blood moving through you. That is a kind of healing unto itself, right? Just feeling the vertical spiraling blood. It gets the blood to where it needs to go, bringing the nutrients, the hydrogen, the nitrogen, carbon, oxygen, all the goodies, getting to your cells. Breathing through the nose. releasing any tension in the heart. Shri Ma Kundalini wants to rise up from the base, up through the subconscious second chakra, through the deep self, through the watery networks, the amniotic ocean of your being, rising up like the rising sun in the fire of the Manipura, the city of jewels, the awakening chakra, the projection of personal power out to the world. And then we align that with compassion, unconditional love, dedication, all these beautiful qualities. Purifies the heart, purifies the ego, purifies the love itself. You could say it makes it more divine because it's purified of gossipy stuff and things that are vibrating with the first three chakras, which tend to be a little seductive and keep us trapped in the world of worldly spin. But we want to look within, beyond the worldly spin, this axis of the self, just breathing into this architecture and then softening, beautiful softening, relaxing shoulder, relaxing brain, eyeballs, jaw, ears. It's like we get out of the way and the heart expands. And if we hit the eye wall in there, hit some kind of hurricane force resistance, know that this is pretty normal. Opening the heart is heart work on some level, right? It requires spiritual discipline, years of meditation often, unless you've just come flying in with an open heart, in which case you already did your homework. Now you live in North America with an awesome family. It's one of the blessings of, they call it yoga brashta, meaning you're almost there. So here you are with all the goodies, all the tools, finished the journey. Now that could include, if you would understand the yogis correctly, that could include finishing the journey. Doesn't mean you don't necessarily come back. Just means that you're kind of done with the out of control karmic stuff. Right now, if you're more stabilized in the deep self, it's like this immortal self is probably multidimensional. It can have many lives at the same time. You can be like old Joe Clark. He had all the girls sewn to his coattail. You can have worlds of infinite possibility being anchored in the center. But if we're spiraling off balance, first chakra's off, second chakra will be off, second, third, fourth, the whole thing will be off. One of the tests that I like is, it's good to check in with yourself on this front, I believe. Ask yourself, how often do you tell a lie? How often do you tell a white lie, a fib? How do you distort the truth or avoid the truth? Or that will usually indicate how much trust you have in the universe at any given moment, right? Because if you're very apprehensive about the truth, that means you're hiding something, eh? It may be why intimacy is such an issue, right? All these folks are hiding something. And I'm not saying necessarily they're a serial killer, but they're hiding the lack of self-love, perhaps, right? That the part of themselves that just feels really terrible. And we don't want folks to see that part of ourselves, right? Who doesn't have some part like that? So we just blast it out with love, divine love. Health is realization from this point of view. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nisprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Niralambaya Tejase Niralambaya Tejase Om. Just noticing which part of your body is not relaxed, and relax it. I just noticed I was holding my shoulder up, so I was just like relaxing it. Any part that's relaxing it. Keep the dynamic tension, but absorb into the relaxation. When the breath is smooth, the mind is calm. So you can do it from either direction. You could have a calm mind and smoothen your breath, or you can smoothen your breath and have a calm mind. Symbiotic. So just breathing gently, bringing the brain waves down from 14 hertz into the theta, into the alpha and the theta registers. Approaching the Schumann resonance of the planet. 7.8 hertz. And vibrate with the Earth Mother herself. It fortifies the field, aligns us with the planet. And do our little sound healing technology, the Vishnuri, which sort of sounds like Vishnu, but it's different. The V in the back of the head, the E sound moving through the brain into the vibrating teeth, which sends this B kind of buzz up into the brain. And they compare the unstruck sound with the vibrating buzzing of the bees. The nada, divine inner nada. So we want to listen in to the vibrating nada, the nadis. Tunes up the antenna, relaxes the brain. And so the telephone, if you can hear it, is ringing the inner nada. We've obviously made the connection. The deep self is calling. As Alan Watts said, he kept calling until he made the connection and then he hung up. Just feeling that connection to the deep zone. Hello, Shiva, are you there? Just say hello to yourself. You are everywhere. You know, the power animal for the heart chakra, at least in one version, is that black antelope. It's like, why the black antelope? Black antelope is a very elusive creature, right? It's gone before you know it. It has very sensitive ears. It's the slightest thing to scare it, it's gone. Right? It's kind of like elusive thoughts, elusive feelings, that elusive opening of the heart. Just like gotta catch the black antelope. You didn't know this was a safari, did you? So that elusive black antelope. All right, where did he go? Just listening into the heart. The power animal has escaped. So this is a good metaphor, right, for how slippery we are with our elusiveness and our not wanting to look at the reality often, right, and all of that kind of stuff. So the black antelope. So become this creature in this moment. Takes us down into the hexagonal Star of David in the heart. Inside that, it's like the white light. If you're a Christian, you got the Christ light. If you're a Buddhist meditator, like the shimmering void. Infinite consciousness just blazing in your chest. Just breathing into that wondrousness. This is not a place we tend to hang out all the time, obviously, because life is a busy thing, but the beauty is that it can be, it's like parallel parked here, right? You can have this awareness at the same time as you're doing all this stuff. Right? It's kind of like enlightened action, open eye meditation, sahaja samadhi. There's a Sanskrit phrase or a Sanskrit shloka, technically. It's called Lokananda Samadhi Sukhum, which means Lokananda, the bliss of the world. Ananda, the Loka. Lokananda Samadhi Sukhum, meaning the bliss of the world is the sweetness, the sukhum of the samadhi state. Meaning you might be agitated and mad that your phone bill is too big this month, or something happened that's upsetting you and keeping you in the third, second, first chakra. But according to this thought, Lokananda Samadhi Sukhum means that the bliss is always there and we're just not noticing it because we've shrunk down to minutia and maybe not so critical stuff. But right behind our sort of front lobe activities, you can sort of have that spacious movie theater going on while you're watching the movie. That would be one way to think of it. The movie is very absorbing. You don't want to be in the front row. But if you're in the back row, it's all this space. And you get the movie. And it's the same old drama, maybe, but hey, there's all this space. So we're just feeling this liberating space. let's talk about the power of space as a tool. I think it's one of the tools I use the most. If you want to forgive someone, use space to get bigger than them, so that whatever they did just seems like, psh, right? It's like make them a mosquito on the windshield, this doesn't bother you anymore. So you could expandoplex the space. If the space is annoying, you can shrink down and become like the dude that writes novels in bars, right? He's completely absorbed in his novel and could care less about the rock band, but is enjoying the community energy. We can put space between things, and that there's an unhealthy version of that, right? So say the inauthentic self, the actor self, might use distancing, using space to buffer. Sometimes we need to use space to buffer because there's something toxic there. So we're just noticing these things we do. How do you use space? Space is the place. It's alkaline expansion. When your body wants to get you better, it adds space. As we've been discussing in the past, disease is jammed up space. Elemental particles are too close together. Stuckness, blockage, congestion leads to everything from putrefaction, fermentation, disease, viruses, fungus, mold. Cells start creating this stuff. They're all stressed. Relaxing. Adding more space to anything that feels tight, painful in your body. It's like, open it up. Space it out. More space between the molecules. So let's bless everyone today. More space between all the molecules. Lots of space. Just downloading the space. Space between the cells. Space between organs and glands. Just feel that in your body, giving yourself this permission. Sometimes it's good to be all spaced out in this regard. Now, if you feel like you're too big for any reason, you're overweight or whatever it is, too many cells, you can shrink it down, right? So let's say blessings for folks who feel too large, we shrink you down. And folks who feel too small in any way, fluff you up. Why not, right? Act of the mind. Mind over matter seems to be what governs these days. Okay, everyone, once in a while it's just good to go back to like clear screen. Zero thoughts. No thoughts. Empty mind. Making these kind of fun sounds strengthens your thymus, which is the coordinator of your immune system. It strengthens this heart chakra, which is coordinating your circulatory and respiratory systems. To just silly little humming, beautiful sounds, lightness of being, resting around, right? Just like this releases all the sabotage that you might be undergoing or perpetrating. I used to ask myself when I did this more, why am I sabotaging this situation? Right? Why would we do that? Fear, right? Fear of love, fear of success, fear of getting the girl, fear of getting the guy, fear of actually being successful. And you would think, well, no, that's not true. I want to be successful. But the law of comfortable space has probably figured out a particular version that has us kind of locked in, right? So we have our default settings of comfortable space, and it's difficult to change us. You ever had someone try to change you from the outside? This doesn't usually work, right? Now they might offer you a suggestion, and then you might decide to own that. And that's one of the Jungian instructions for how to go from the pretense self to the open heart, authentic self. It's to own the power, right? Own it. Whatever it is, just own it. You did it. Own it. It's good. It's fine. People will love you when you own it. It's so weird, isn't it? They hate you when you don't. What a world. I think it's all because love wants love. Love is the driver. It's just trying to obliterate all this other stuff. But we're kind of antelope-like, and the slightest little and we're out of there. So let's get in touch with our inner black antelope. This skittish creature. Just like, oh, I love you, thank you. I love you, thank you. I love you, thank you. I'm just going to read the screen here for a minute. I know there's some interrupter stuff is covering the screen. I'm just curious if you guys are seeing it or not. En route. Right. Yes. How did I know? Oh. How did you know? Okay. Just breathing into the deepness. Yes. Well, it looks like, let me just see if I can remove that. Voila. Love is the juice. Let's just feel the juice. It's just flowing through you. We do everything for love. Even burglars are stealing your stuff out of love. They love your stuff. So in a sense, part of this meditation has been a kind of invocation to the deep self, calling it in, calling it out, dialing it up. Feel its permanence, pervasiveness, fullness. Just drop in for a minute, total stillness. in through the nose, gently softening. The word silent has the same letters as listen. So we're just getting really comfortable listening to the deep self. Like an artist date with yourself in this busy world. Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho. Hey Girijavara, Hey Girijavara, Hey Girijavara Hara Shambho. Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho. Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho. Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho. Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva, Samba Sada Shiva Hara Shambho. Hey Girijavara, Hey Girijavara, Hey Girijavara Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. And somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why can't I? Happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow. Why can't I? Feeling that love flow through the blood. Just opening up the heart. Shri Ma Kundalini was there from the start. It's there to teach us to love ourselves. Just turning the dial up on the love. Nice to just be here, isn't it? Thank you so much for being here. Good feeling attracting the healing. That we have is love, and all that we have is hope and love, and all that we have is love. None but those lift us up so we can rise above. We can rise above the madness, and soon we'll find our own way home. We all need a little healing, so give love, it's the only thing that cures you. 'Cause we all need a little healing. If you give it, I have learned, it will all be returned if you only give your love. You only give your love. And all that we have is love. If you give it, I have learned, it will all be returned if you only give your love. You only give your love. I can rest assured that our love will always cure you, no matter what your sickness is, no matter what hurts you. But give love, it's the only thing that heals you. We all need a little healing. Give it, I have learned, it will all be returned if you only give your love. Give your love. Give love. It's the only thing that heals you. So we all need a little healing. Soon we'll find our own way home. We all need a little healing. Healing. Little healing. Namaste, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to our Kundalini Heart Chakra meditation. I hope your Kundalini is all fired up, your heart is full, and on Thursday we're going to just move up into the throat antenna and broadcast wondrously. Namaste. See you in a few days.